Well, there we go. How's it going, everybody? I am Cortex, and I am joined here with Byron Assidious. Hope you all are doing well this morning on Friday. End of the week, Good Friday. We're going to get back into the Backrooms. We've been meaning to do this for a little while now,
Yes,
but
and-
here we are.
We keep having kind of not matching schedules, which is an unfortunate thing when you do find somebody you want to dive in partnership with. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Backrooms discussion with your hosts, Cortex and Byron Assidious, yours truly. Brother, would it be all right if I did a couple of quick housekeeping notes before we get started?
Go for it. Go for it,
All
man.
right. Those of you who are in the chat already,
I'll engage with the chat.
might be. What's up?
I said I'll engage with the chat when you're...
Okay.
Oh, I feel you got some feedback going. I can hear myself.
Oh, sorry. Is that on my end?
I didn't know it was your birthday, Byron.
Yes, I am 41 years old today.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. I survived another trip round the sun. Let us on this day celebrate the day I managed to rip my mother's crotch in twain being born. Anyhow, I'm
like
not the
Tyrion
most pleasant
Lannister.
Yeah, that's right. Except I don't have heterochromia and I'm not a dwarf. But hey, Tyrion is quite frankly one of the best characters in that entire series of
Oh
books.
my God, it is Saturday. Why did I say Friday? My days are all mixed up.
That's all right. Because you didn't work yesterday. You had Good Friday off, so it's fucking you up.
That's right. My bad.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Quick
Thanks for
housekeeping.
putting that out, Libby.
A few days ago, I put forth a video on my YouTube channel effectively saying that I finished with YouTube, and I was rather angry and grumpy and in a mood when I made that video, but the vast majority of what I said in that video still holds true and is accurate, and I will be removing material from my YouTube channel. I will not be removing the live streams that I've put up on there so far. Those are going to remain because those were entertaining for me at the very least, and enjoyable to sit down and have conversation with folks who I've come to know and appreciate within this community. I don't remember exactly everything I said, so if I'm repeating myself from that video in any way, shape, or form, I do apologize, but I beg you to bear with me. Just because I'm not looking to make material on my own YouTube channel going forward does not in any way, shape, or form mean that I am no longer going to watch the streams, the live shows, or the videos produced by friends, colleagues, and acquaintances whom I have made here on the platform. To do so would be short-sighted and, quite frankly, I would consider it unethical of me to do so. You folks enjoy my company and I enjoy yours. And I do not want to hold the terms of service, the community guidelines, and the nonsense put forth by YouTube against you. That would be that wouldn't be right. So I am going to continue to engage in conversation in people's chats on their live shows. I'm going to continue to be a member in viewership to those of you who are in this kind of nebulous, unbounded community. Those of you who I've come to appreciate as friends and acquaintances, you will continue to have my support and my friendship and my viewership because you haven't done anything to deserve otherwise. That's on YouTube. That's not on you folks. I have decided to take my own material in terms of my live streams and standalone videos, and I'm going to continue uploading those or streaming to Rumble and or BitChute, although not so much BitChute these days. I've mostly been leaning toward Rumble because, well, they actually have live streaming. BitChute doesn't.
I still gotta look into that.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. As far as gaming streaming, dude, I think you would have a monster time being able to get on there because there's a lot of folks fleeing Twitch and YouTube in terms of gaming streaming as both content producers and audience members because you're not throttled and choked down on what kind of games you can play streaming on Rumble. There are certain titles that you couldn't get away with playing on live broadcast on YouTube. They'd either shadow ban you or put a curtain where they don't want certain users under a certain age being able to see.
Speaking of which, it's funny you bring that up. Is I just got an email today talking about my Last of Us Part 1. I believe it was the 2.6 part that I did because I had some hiccups due to Streamlabs, but they blocked it in Russia.
They blocked it in Russia?
Yeah. That's what it said in the email. I don't know. It didn't make no sense to me.
That's curious.
Something about a copyright claim. I don't know, dude.
That is peculiar. I almost have to wonder if the claim was made by a YouTuber
It said
in Russia.
SME. I don't know who SME is, but
neither do I. But there's all kinds of kerfuffles and nonsense when it comes to trying to contend with YouTube's algorithms, with their terms of service, their community guidelines nonsense, and the fact that you and I both very well know that the humans who are working at YouTube/Google are not fans of people who are avid gamers and enthusiasts of the platforms of electronic gaming. They're not fans of folks who don't fall in step with the primary mainstream socio-political ideology. And they're not fans of folks who just want to have a good time when they come on here. They want you dour and scowling and grumbling and grumpy and upset about this, that, and the other thing.
No pun intended, right? Rumbling.
Yeah, exactly. I personally see no good reason for myself to remain as a primary content producer on
I see you,
YouTube.
Hillbilly. What's up, man?
So I will still come on to
Open
panels
smile.
and shows if I'm invited. And like I said, I will still be an audience member for folks who I am friendly with and whose material I enjoy. But otherwise, if you're looking for anything from this particular cartoon character, you'll find it on Rumble. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to see a certain character show up on the Hulus because he's still got their show coming out. There's not going to be any stopping that, apparently.
Are they actually going to do a comeback with King of the Hill?
Yes, they are. That is in the works. They are currently in post-production on the first 6 episodes.
I feel like I want to cry now.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. This is.
I don't know how to take that.
It's not something that's been greenlit for a full season. It's been greenlit for a 6-episode primary pilot run. Now, what that means in terms of television
Testing the
production,
waters.
yeah, they basically want to see if there's going to be an audience for it. They've already signed on voice talent. They've already got Mike Judge to agree to do preliminary storyboarding as well as character direction. However, what Hulu/Disney has not granted Mike Judge is full creative control,
Oh
and
boy,
that terrifies me.
that
That
terrifies the shit out of me.
absolutely terrifies me. You look at what happened with Seth MacFarlane when Disney purchased 70% control stake share in Fox Studio and Fox Animation. He lost creative control over Family Guy. He only has a 35% stake of creative control over the program, which is, I suspect, why the show has slipped in quality and the certain types of jokes that they can make or can't. Um,
Boggle.
Yep. I will be right back. My son has decided he's calling for me. He wants to be done with the bath. I don't know. Oh, I think my wife went to lay down for a little bit. She's not been feeling great.
Sorry to hear
Um,
that.
well, it's the third trimester, so
Oh,
her
oh.
body is saying, "Bitch, get some rest." Um, so I'll be right back, folks.
All right, man. I'll be right back, everybody. But I'll be here for the moment. So how's it going, everybody? We'll get started here momentarily. We just wanted to kind of scoop up and talk to y'all, see how everybody's been, and then get straight into the back rooms. Oh, yeah, it's been a little bit since we did the last one, but hopefully, maybe if this is another part, we may do another part depending on our time table. Um, with what we got now, we're gonna try to finish the back rooms and try to put the nail in the coffin until more content comes out. But how's everybody doing today? I know I said Friday, but I know it's Saturday. Thanks, D. Libby. Yeah, my days are all screwed up. My body's not used to being off 3 days in a row. It's worse even like for 2 weeks straight, like when I'm on break. Ugh. Oh man. Y'all behave in that chat now. That's okay. I thought yesterday was Saturday all day. All good. Just watched my team win, so a good day ahead. There you go. Appreciate the love there, D Libby. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what game I want to play next. I got Days Gone and Mad Max. What do y'all think about those two? Just waiting on the kids. Winning. I went and watched John Wick 4 yesterday. How was that? I'm actually going to go watch that. I might go watch that today. Of course, I always behave. Mad Max sounds good. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Mad Max. Let me get some votes in the chat here. I'm gonna do a poll real quick. I want to see what which one y'all want to see next. All right, let me see what we got here. Start a poll. All right, poll should be up. Let's see what we get here. Mad Max 100%. Man, no love for Days Gone. That's a good game too, y'all. There's a lot, a lot of killing, but no surprise. I enjoyed the movie though. Nice. I mean, it is John Wick, so you know what you got into. Days Gone had 20%. Mad Max, then, we can play it later. It's just because the movie I picked it. I saw just cruising through the tube, saw Use a Laugh, figured I'd show some love and smack a like. Cheers, my ninja. Likewise, ninja. I got you, man. I know. Um, like I said, Byron will be back with us in a moment. And then we'll get started with the back rooms. I guess for now, let's not make it too awkward. Let's actually put some music on, right? Try to get a. Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that. Turns out my wife was not lying down. She was getting dressed. She has to go in for a little bit to work to cover for a midday shift lead who will not be at work for probably a week or two. She got stabbed coming out of her apartment today.
What?
Yeah. One of my wife's midday shift leads can't go into work because she got stabbed leaving her apartment.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta love the Twin Cities.
Not
This
me,
is
man.
why we live in the suburbs, away from that nonsense.
All right. Well, without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started in the back rooms. Do you remember which one we left off on?
I don't remember the name of the video. I
Let
recall
me
it was the
bring it up.
one where the gentleman was walking down numerous corridors to go get to a secure phone that was separated from the rest of the facility. I think it may have been actually the one after that. We actually got finally like a good look at the gentleman who had been standing on the upper platform level in silhouette. We actually got a look at him in person. I don't think we were at damage control yet.
Wasn't that found footage number 2?
I do remember watching that. I also remember watching the next one over with the table full of the yellow.
Oh, this one? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that one and kind of going through that.
I think we left on found footage number 2, from what I remember.
Okay.
I wrote it down, but I'm not sure where. LOL. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's what it was, but we'll see here. Yeah, that's not the man right there. It's
Sorry.
Where was it?
Just giving the missus a quick kiss before she heads out. Yeah, I remember like they were doing the corporate Muzak video showing like, hey, here's all the things we can do inside of this space with warehousing, residential. And I remember we were joking about, join the
residential,
Backrooms apartments where you too can have the great privilege of awakening to find a great Cthulhuan horror climbing up your toilet to grab your bowels and rip them from your body.
Oh, that'd be horrible. That sounds like a Resident Evil death waiting to happen.
But it would. Somebody has to make that game.
Oh God, taking a shit and just next thing you know, it's all ripped out.
Right, have it be a QTE where you have to smash the X and Y button back and forth to make sure that you can pull your buttocks off of the toilet as the unspeakable horror tries to eat you from the ass first.
Yep, eating a whole ass sandwich. I think Reunion might be the next one we go to, if I recall.
Okay. Rim job from hell.
Literally. We seen the same guy that was observing the film from the exploration team.
Hey, he's still at the project, it would seem.
Yep. MLML. Those coordinates.
I think it is. I think it's coordinates. And scuba, I immediately think of with that entry into the chat. I immediately think of Clerks 2. You never go
Yep.
ass to mouth.
That's a different movie,
And then-
Scuba. Yeah, a whole different movie. I wonder if anybody's actually put in these coordinates.
Jot them down.
I'm actually going to take a picture of them right now.
Yeah, I want to see if that actually leads to something. Well, of course I get it, Scuba. You know, back before he turned into a complete and utter pop culture train wreck, Kevin Smith made some fantastic films.
Yeah, it got super woke. But here we go. Oh, can we just add to the fact of how negligent that this is? Putting your coffee mug on like really important paperwork.
Right, data printouts that I imagine just for security purposes they don't have digital backups of. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this, this coffee right here on top of papers that could, if they get ruined, lead to our complete misunderstanding of the eldritch horror that's trying to break into our reality. Great move. Async Corporation. We are negligent.
May 25th, 1990.
I think we should have enough room to unpack over there.
Okay, sounds good.
Can you loosen that strap?
Weren't we just talking about a couple of videos back about possible, like there was a spot that looked like something exploded, and there was like a ruin of possibly a drone. Do you think that would be this drone?
Actually, it is very possible that this is the machine that results in that wreckage, because we had also talked about the fact that these videos are not all presented to us in chronological order.
Right.
So we've got that. There's also the fact that the rules of time do not necessarily apply in the strictest sense once one is in the back rooms.
Right.
Take 3 at the very least. It'll take 7 trips that way, I think.
Wait a second. This wall was constructed. Remember, and now it's got a crack in it.
Yeah, we watched them put this together in time-lapse still photos. And you will recall that you and I both said this is a bad idea and it will not stick.
Right.
You sure full clips on you yet?
Watch your hands.
Yeah, we're just assembling now.
All right. Did he say let's disassemble it now?
I believe so. I believe he just said let's disassemble it now.
And you'll notice
Well-
how it took almost no effort to knock that panel in.
Yep.
Yeah, we're just assembling now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to want to stop up here and just a few to the right. Carry on forward and head into that gap over on the left. Is that really what he said? I don't think he has a full understanding of the situation.
Oh, I thought he knows either, but I think that matters.
So I was just judging the ceiling and the way the walls are all like positioned. It's almost kind of like an old school like map editor, where you just kind of like copy and paste and just make like a hallway. Because I noticed the
Right.
paneling of the lights are like they're one way, and then when you go down the hallway, they're another way. Like they're vertical to horizontal immediately, right around the corner.
Right. I
Or I'm
also want
sorry, horizontal to vertical from that perspective.
I also want to bring up something here with this old school camera drone. I have a hypothesis to put forth that this camera drone is not going to cause any new activity within the corridors it's examining for one simple reason. It is a machine. It has
Yeah.
no sentience. It has no consciousness. So I don't expect anything too bizarre to suddenly crop up. There might be something that was already in occurrence or in process, but I don't think it's going to come across anything active.
Perhaps, but I also have to kind of like bring back the cameras that they had set up, and they had picked up activity. So how would that I guess go along with that? Like as far as the cameras picking it up, the activity from before versus the drone now.
That's actually a good point. I think I may be wrong on that one. I think you
Yeah,
might.
'cause-
Yeah, I think you might be right on that one.
Because the cameras did pick up activity. They had seen like these black strands out of a corner.
Right. It said activity detected, and we did see that. So I am off on that one. My apologies.
No, you're good. I just brought up the observation from before.
Here we are. Wall. Watch the wall.
I'm surprised with how well this is holding out. It must be in good standing.
Well, okay, let me go back to that, just the idea in general. Do you think maybe because they were nearby and the cameras were like in the position they were, that they were in a space itself, that they had then seen it on the via camera?
Very possible, because the cameras were set up within the Q-dimensional space. They would, I would imagine, eventually be accepted as just part of the environment. And after a certain amount of time, whatever sentience or consciousness is in control of that space would regard them as a non-threat, and it could continue its activity as per normal, hence detecting activity on the cameras. We could have
Right.
another situation similar to that with this drone, in that the consciousness of the back rooms would recognize potentially that whatever this thing is, it is mechanical, it is not conscious, and is not a threat. So
Mhm.
perhaps the space will proceed to act as it normally would when unobserved.
Okay.
Hey, don't get too close. Stop.
Yeah.
Standard, this is Clyde. We've reached room 14D. We're now just about to initiate the equilibrium stimulus test.
Possible feedback?
Feedback or audio bleed. Remember, this is a cassette from 1990. When splicing from one videotape feed to another, you can sometimes have, with the older technology, audio artifacting or bleed over from whatever film you're splicing together. So it could be that, potentially.
That's still good.
The last one came back good, but I recommend you keep a mask on just to be safe.
We're gonna start updating our protection system. I feel like I'm always missing things in this mess.
I haven't driven it back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe we're just conserving power and they take it back in the cart when we get here.
Hey team, this is Mark. You copy? Copy,
Okay.
reached 11th. We have just reached 14D. There are no visible signs of Marvin's friend.
That is absolutely not the name we're going with.
Well, then you better start working on a new one. This one isn't a better view. Remote one. Remember that? These ones are all fairly even, right? You just have to go on that one.
Just focus on going against it around those points of interest. I believe the current sheet was for today.
Well, that's good to hear. Are you ready to start sending people down? I know we don't have that many hours left before we need to start revamping the material protocols. We need to double check again on 1, 2, 5, 7, 3 as well.
Hey, can I get a hand over here?
Is it just me, or did that one lip actually cast a shadow where none of the others did?
I think it did. Hold on. Right.
Yeah.
Talking about right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that one casts a shadow, but all the others do not.
It's almost like there's a space under it.
Right. A small imperfection.
Mm-hmm. Why was that one lip shelf not like the others? Yeah. I was kind of wondering that too myself right here. It was like a bit off.
the material protocol.
Is this the same one they had you practice with?
Pretty similar, but they were just renting that one. Same one as far as I'm concerned, though. Not like I know the difference.
Wouldn't want to be on the other end of that.
You wouldn't want to be on the other end of any gun margin.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Alright, get your lights on. Mark, light.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
One measly shotgun to the unknown.
Now, let us consider that this is the first time in any of these videos we are seeing any exploratory team going in armed.
Mm-hmm.
It took them this long to finally go armed.
Yeah.
Standard, this is Mark. We're now beginning our progression into room 14C. Alright, so we're going to want to stay mostly down the middle, but maybe go around one or two just to make sure we're not missing anything.
Yeah. Good damn thing, this mouse.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, floor's different. Looks like concrete or what's it
Also,
called?
is this the first time that they are going into an unlit area?
I believe so. Which is kind of unsettling.
True, but at least they had the foresight to bring, torches with them.
Yeah, for now.
The stuff they layer over concrete to make it shiny. Epoxy? Yeah, epoxy. It looks like we got standard white drywall with black vinyl trim or wall base. And ceiling looks relatively the same, just tighter.
Well, that's different. This isn't something we're used to. This is like another whole new generated area.
It is, and it doesn't have. It could be an effect of the light, but we don't have that yellowing either. And is
No.
that hard? Is that tile flooring or is that carpet? And
That's
it's just
definitely not
lit
carpet.
the
It's
same way.
looks more like
That
tile.
is tile. That okay. Yeah,
Because
this
look,
is new.
it's reflecting. It's got a reflection like a mirror.
Yup. This space is adapting.
Yeah, look, there's a split right there.
Yup, it's adapting.
It looks like there's another space between the floor types. Huh.
Oh, yeah. If you can put a tape measure down there again. We got displaced tiles. Yeah. See anything?
No, not really.
Well, there's a little hole in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a wall back there? A wall? Or can't tell what that is.
Yeah, it just looks like a wall. Huh.
Watch the gun. Sorry.
Is this just the natural state, or did something move these? Yeah, I'm not sure which one I prefer, but right now I'm kind of leaning towards the former.
Yeah.
Something definitely moved those. Maybe the further you go into the building and the indifference begin to happen. But this isn't a building, though. A building has structure. A building was planned. None of this was planned. There was no construction behind any of this. It was more so generated.
The believe we've only seen displaced tiles 4. I think it was 4 times before. Not too common.
Oh, did you see that? Hold on. It was almost like the filtering kind of like went out.
Displaced tiles 4. I think it was 4 times before. Not too common.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's definitely a a shift in the quality of the imagery.
Guys, I found something.
Yeah?
You gotta look at this. What, is it right over there? Yeah,
What is
there's some sort of... No, you're right, this looks handmade. You can't determine that just by looking at it. Well, I'm just assuming right now. Either way, you're right, it does look like some kind of map.
Yeah. You know, it almost looks like...
I think this is over around here, 14C.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
Team A, come in, this is Mark.
that's the area we came through. That's 14C, and there's 14D.
Team A, this is Mark, do you copy?
There's B and A.
Standard, do you copy? Repeat, this is Mark, do you copy? Yeah, no, the signal's dead, we've gone too far. We gotta go back.
What? You sure? We're not that far.
Well, that's all the more reason to get...
Well, if we do get back and they say it's just a non-issue, and you just come back around and see what the... Oh my god!
He's got my gun! He's got my gun! He's got my gun!
Don't move! Never you move!
Okay, okay!
I don't want to hurt any of you. But I will. Wait, after, so please.
Pause it up.
Just answer my questions and I'll be gone. How many people are out here right now? Down the hall, how many people are out here?
Wait,
I don't know.
Peter?
Oh, shit.
Marv? Marvin?
Yes, it's me. Is it really you?
It's me. It's me.
How? It's been months. We thought you...
I know. That's what they did. They took my life from me, Marv. Everyone thinks I'm fucking dead. My wife and children think I'm dead.
Can you please put down the gun?
Barbara, just tell me. Did they hold a funeral?
Yes.
This is Team A. Do you read
Yes, A-Team, this is Mark, I read you.
Mark, don't.
What are you doing?
We need immediate armed
Mark.
support at room 14C. My team and I are being held at gunpoint by a hostile. I repeat,
Stop.
please
Don't
send
shoot him.
immediate armed support to room
Stop.
13C.
You don't.
I'm sorry.
Shit.
Marvin, I'm alive. But I want you to tell them that I'm alive. I need to know.
What just fucking happened?
I believe they may have just come across the fellow who fell down the one chute in the prior video.
Oh, that's right.
The guy who fell down and
Was
went
that
up
Marvin,
in
though?
that's what he was saying was Martin.
Or Marvin, Martin.
Marvin or Martin, one or the other. Hold on a second, son.
Wow. Next video we have is Backrooms Overflow. D. Libby said Marvin was the camera guy. I forgot the name. What's up, Creeker Mariah? How are you doing? I think whatever that was manipulating the fella. Possibly. Yeah, what
I
would he have been eating and drinking to stay alive?
Well, this is something that I don't know if we touched upon previously, but given how long he has been in that space, is there a possibility that human necessity for standard bodily function would no longer apply?
Possibly in the Q space. Plus, how long, like, did he think he was in there for versus how long they thought he was in there for?
Right. Hello, Creaker. How you doing, Mariah? And that's the other thing we've mentioned before, that time dilation is going to play a factor, that you're not going to necessarily experience the fluctuation and passage of time in the standard function when you're inside the Q-dimensional space as opposed to outside of it.
Looks like I'm playing Mad Max next. Yeah, so what could seem like years could seem like a couple of days for him.
Right. I mean, you think about folks who have had, myself included, experiences with psychedelic drugs. You oftentimes find people talking about how they experience time differently. You have vast passages of time that take, inside the experience, that take absolutely no time externally to experience from beginning to end. We see this concept crop up in science fiction all the time. A popular modern example would be Rick and Morty with the copycat Dave and Buster's thing, where Rick puts on the headset, or Morty puts on this headset, and he experiences an entire life growing old and running what was it, like a rug emporium or something, and falls off the ladder and breaks his back and dies, and then whoosh, he's back out and he's talking about his grandkids, and he's like, "Oh, I just lived a whole other life."
Yeah, it's almost like when somebody says time set still, kind of plays into that too. Yeah.
Adrenaline. And ask anybody who's ever been in a fight. They'll tell you that the experience is otherworldly, because while they're engaged in the melee, in the fracas, time seems almost to expand. So you have a few seconds of experience that feel like they stretch out into minutes or hours.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, even like in a car accident or anything that matter, anything that involves like your life being in danger, a few minutes could literally go on for a couple hours.
Yep, and because you've got the dump of adrenaline, you've got pain, you've got just trauma. It will completely disrupt your perception of reality.
Mm-hmm. Well, for this one, we have the Backrooms Overflow. Here we go, everybody.
Market and non-market economies. Well, as I've said, that our negotiations in this area with the Soviets are just beginning. Commerce Secretary...
I feel very rude. Hold up. Good, Cortex. How are you? I'm doing all right. How about you, Creaker? Sorry, I just seen your comment. Yeah, let me catch up with chat here. My bad, y'all. Woohoo, Mad Max. Yep, that's what we'll be playing. My car accident was like that, and I've had falling experiences like that. Yeah.
It's never fun, and it's never exactly how you remember it.
No, it's not.
Peterson returned yesterday, 2 weeks, mostly in Moscow, but also in Warsaw, during which time very considerable progress was made. We're narrowing our differences, which have kept us from settling our Lend-Lease debt for 25 years. The good faith which the Soviets would demonstrate by settling the debt would set the stage for a presidential order permitting Exim Bank credits to tour sales to the Soviets. And it would also open the way for a presidential request of the Congress that was the United States.
I feel like that's a name we should pay attention to. Does that say Jeremy Beck?
I'm not 100% sure, but look at the date.
8/2/72.
I think this is a copy of someone's employment contract with Async Corporation.
Quite possibly, especially the green light that we seen in the other video. That was interesting. What is going on here? Is it possible that the worlds are colliding? Is that what that's supposed to represent?
Either a collision or a, as per the title of the video, it could be material from the backroom space bleeding out into our world, into our reality, an overflow of energy, an overflow of material passing through one of the many distortions or disruption points that acts as a barrier between the two realities, between the two spaces.
Oh man, so that's when worlds collide.
Good tune.
Definitely. Well, the last one we got here is Damage Control, everybody. Oh.
Now, with a title like that, I half expect this to be a video from their PR department.
Oh man. Yeah, like what do we do now? We're gonna start seeing stick figure monsters out in the real world.
Right? Like, you know, hey, this is a public message, a public service announcement from Async Corporation. We have unleashed eldritch horrors of unknown origin upon the human populace. We would like to take this opportunity to deeply apologize. However, remember that when you see your strange ambulatory freak show monster neighbor approaching you, shrieking in the voices of those long dead, that you cannot hold that against them, because we here at Async believe in the diversity and inclusion of those eldritch horrors who are now citizens of our world. Remember, we are stronger together until we're ripped apart. Just see some spike-limbed thing walking down the street wearing your other neighbor's head like a hat. How you doing today, Bob?
This is like,
yeah,
you know, coming at you.
About, yeah, how about that local football team?
As it's mimicking your dead neighbor's voice.
Mark, this is Team A. Do you read us?
Hey, team, this is Mark. I read you. What is it? We need immediate armed support in room 14C. My team and I are being held at gunpoint by a hostile.
Thank you for the public service announcement, Byron.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
I repeat, please send immediate armed support to room 14C.
For that panel,
Who's that?
He's dead, Jim. Is he running back? Oh shit, there he is. Is it me or is he running really, really fast?
Almost inhumanly fast.
Like,
think about this possibility, if you will. He has spent, we don't know how much time exposed to the physical laws and energies of the Q-dimensional space. And now he finds himself back in his own primary material realm. Is it possible that there is still some lingering energies from the Q-dimensional space wrapped about and coiled within his body, allowing him
like in his
superhuman
DNA?
activity?
No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alteration to the very physical makeup of his being. I mean, basically, what it looks like you're looking at is an upright cheetah with a shotgun, and quite frankly, you may as well say your prayers and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah. He's like, look at them. They're not running anywhere near as fast as him. Not even moving it hardly as fast as him. Oh, shit.
I'd like to thank you all once again for your patience on this. It has been a stressful 15 hours for all of us here, and while he cannot currently be with us, Dr. Beck sends his apologies regarding the numerous inconveniences caused by our decision to keep you here overnight. Now, it appears that the situation has reached a point of some stability. We're still looking into a few things, but I feel that we can now properly address what occurred without running into speculation. What happened last night should not have happened. Not here, not with us. What occurred was a gross misunderstanding that was the result of some severe information mismanagement. Even now, I believe most of you still have an incomplete idea of what took place last night. So before I fill you in, I need to address the fact that there has been information deliberately withheld from many of you on the project. Now, these choices were not made lightly and were done for only the best of reasons. However, I want to make it abundantly clear that following the events of last night, it has been proven to us that that method of conducting ourselves was not viable. So I'm coming to you now to correct this mistake and begin delivering the authentic order of events as we understand them. On the morning of March 1st, a team of 4 researchers was sent into the complex to conduct a routine layout analysis. George Levy, Marvin Lee, Ronald McCarthy, and Peter Tenich. At around 12:25 p.m., the group realized that they had lost track of Tench while traversing the previously accessed branch of hallways. As you'll recall, this prompted an immediate withdrawal of response back to standard, followed by several days of significant search efforts. However, those ultimately yielded nothing, and as far as any of us were concerned, Tinch had simply vanished, leaving no physical trace. Now, for obvious reasons, that wasn't something that we could disclose to the public, so roughly 2 weeks following his disappearance, our security team was forced to put together a more acceptable.
What security team? What security team?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to me that anything was secure about any of this nonsense.
There was no armed guards or anybody stopping him from coming back with a shotgun.
No, I think their idea of security was, well, he's lost, and whatever critters live there are going to take care of him for us.
Cause of death, they would keep attention away from this institute and provide closure to the family. So that is all close to common knowledge, I presume. Not all of you were with us at the time of the incident. However, you're certainly aware of the effects it has had on our internal procedures over the past few months. Regardless, that was where Tinch's involvement in this came to an end. Or at least, that's what we assumed. Because on May 8th at approximately 5:30 p.m., a motion alert was sent out from the complex, which was closed off at the time. One of our senior engineers was sent down to assess the situation and discovered a male dressed in hazard gear who we were able to identify as Peter Tench. Immediately following this discovery, Tench was moved to a secure room on this floor where, over the following days, a select group of doctors were able to administer a panel of tests in order to determine what had happened to Peter in the 2 months he had been gone. Those tests yielded very little useful information. By all measures, Peter appeared to be in excellent health. However, we were still provided one very useful tool in understanding how the situation unfolded from his perspective. Some of you may recall that on the day of his disappearance, Tench was his team's designated camera operator. Well, when we recovered him, he still had that camera in his possession, and in fact had documented the entire ordeal. The footage will be presented in its entirety later today. However, for the purpose of this discussion, I will only be highlighting key events. This is the hallway where Peter was last seen. They're not in view, but you can hear the others walking behind him. Now, as he approaches the bench on the right here, pay close attention to the audio.
Guys, can you hear this? Guys, can you hear this? Hey!
Now, I'd like to save the discussion for afterwards, but what you just saw is what we believe to be the moment that Peter was instantaneously transported 2 months forward in time. Following that abrupt flash you just saw, Tench proceeds back out to the hallway in search of his team, but is without any indication of their presence. The next 30 or so minutes of the tape follow fairly panicked Tench as he attempts to navigate his way back to the threshold. He does obviously find his way back. However, the threshold appears not as he knows it, but as it appeared on the date of May 8th. And this ties us back to the moment when we recovered him. So, to summarize, from his point of view, he had only been inside the complex for several hours. So to him, all of the new developments surrounding the threshold were completely foreign. Luckily, though, as I already mentioned, there were people available to manage the situation as it unfolded. And over the course of the following days, we were able to properly sit down with Peter and work with him to gain a collective understanding of what had happened. However, there was still the very significant fact that Mr. Tench was considered legally deceased as a result of the cover story, and reversing that would be no easy feat. He understood this and was willing to cooperate while we looked for a way to reintegrate him without raising suspicion. Unfortunately, though, that process ended up taking quite a bit longer than we had anticipated. And all the while, Peter was sucked out here, waiting idly by. We did our best to keep him engaged, but it is hard to combat the effects of prolonged sensory deprivation on the human brain. And as a result, Peter's mental state took a toll. Not to a degree that was outright concerning at first, but around the end of week 2, we noticed that he was starting to exhibit a number of behaviors common in patients diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, though we don't have reason to believe that Mr. Tench was afflicted with that condition. Whatever the case, while he didn't express it outright, from what we could gather, he appeared to have deluded himself into believing that he was still inside some sort of illusion created by the complex, and that we were secretly looking to do him harm. This all came to a head on the night of the 22nd, when, while Tench was finally about to be transferred to a temporary above-ground residence, he broke away from us and, using stolen credentials, forced his way back into the complex, where he would go undiscovered until just last night, when he ambushed and violently attacked Team B in room 14C, leaving Dr. Bloom in critical condition. We can presume that during the Jerusalem days Tench spent in the complex, he let go of the idea that he could somehow escape through an alternate threshold, but still held on to the belief that all of us here were working to trap him in some way, despite our actions saying exactly the opposite. Immediately after firing a single shot from the Remington 870 to Dr. Bloom's side, Tench fled the scene and headed to the threshold outpost, where he would turn the weapon on several more of you while progressing to standard and through the lower offices. Given the abrupt and chaotic nature of the unfolding situation, it took our security team several moments longer than it ideally should have to figure out what was happening. But thankfully, while Tench was passing through one of the empty labs next to storage, Dr. Maxwell was able to act quickly and managed to disarm him, accidentally discharging the weapon into the ceiling in the process. However, Tench still managed to avoid apprehension, fleeing into the maintenance wing and evading our security staff by taking the freight elevator to the surface. Now, this situation could have played out very badly, given the potential number of witnesses around the building at the time. But luckily for everyone involved, as far as we can tell, Tench was not noticed as he exited the property. Around 5 minutes later, our security team made it to the ground floor and began a thorough sweep in the direction of the hillside where cameras had last observed Tench. Now, there's no easy way to say this other than to just say it. I am terribly sorry to inform you all, but Mr. Tench was found deceased halfway down the hillside, the result of an extreme blow to the head. It appears that while he was running through some brush, he failed to anticipate a sudden dip in the ground and tragically fell forward into a large rock. Given the circumstances, it was not something any of us could have anticipated or prevented.
They shut him up.
Now, mind you, no one should infer anything from the fact that the rock wound on his forehead looked strangely similar to the gun butt of the rifles handed out to our security team. You are not supposed to infer anything from that wound, nor are you to infer anything from the fact that we recovered his body, dragged it back here, and made everybody aware that, oh yeah, he's still dead. Infer nothing from that, folks. We know exactly what we're doing. How many of these fuckers worked for the CIA before? Come on now.
Right.
The tragedy of the entire situation undoubtedly remains, but Dr. Tench, regardless of how troubled he was in his final days, was a really man who gave his all to this project. He would certainly not want us hindering it in his name. What we're doing here is...
They had no intention of bringing him back to the surface.
No. We wouldn't want to hinder our progress in unleashing unspeakable horrors on the world. That would be against what Tench's wishes would have been. He absolutely wanted us to make sure we ripped the fabric of reality. We're going to do him a bang-up job.
So much bigger than any one person. It is the work of a unified effort, and we need to ensure that that is never lost sight of. That we hold on to the pre-established notion that Peter is and has been deceased. That is done, and there is nothing more to be extracted.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? Hold on.
That is done, and there is nothing more to be extracted.
That don't look like a hill.
No, and if I may be given a brief moment of paranoia, I think that syringe was probably a blood sample that they took from him to examine or study to try and observe the physiological effects of being stuck in the two-dimensional space as long as he was. I don't buy for a moment that there was a time dilation that threw him 2 months into the future. I think his ass was stuck there the entire time. Elsewise, why else would he be so paranoid and so eager to get the hell out of there?
Right.
To the point where he was willing to take arms against people whom he had previously worked with. And you'll notice at the end there of the chase, he tried to lock them in, or that was the freight elevator that he was going up on, to get them the hell away from him, because he knew full well these people are not going to want me to talk about what I have observed or what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
They understand that they fucked up and I need to tell somebody. And from this street camera view, it would seem to me, I suspect, that he did get out away from the hilly area, from the surroundings of Async Corporation, and was trying to find somebody, anybody on that benighted street to flag down and tell, hey, this evil bunch of fuckers are going to destroy everything we know and love and hold dear. And they decided, rifle butt.
Right. Interesting.
Secondary inquiry. Do you suppose it's possible that in the video wherein we saw the one gentleman in these, lab coat and Skechers, talking on that secured secondary phone, is it possible, do you suppose, that he was contacting whoever is in charge to say, hey, this guy has returned. What do we do with him?
Quite possibly. Do you remember which video that was?
I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately. Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate the compliment.
Also, what's up, Vicky? I see you in the comments. I was just kind of getting stuck with this whole thing, but how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Trying to think which video that was.
Great props need to be given to Kane Pixels for putting together this project. I mean, just the deepest respect for the willingness to go through and work this material into life. And to all the folks who participated in the project, I imagine they had a great time doing it. And I should certainly hope that there is an understanding that this kind of material is exactly what the platform is here for. This is the kind of independent art project that can not only launch someone's career into film or television, but that can staunchly put forth the notion that you don't have to be some big budget studio in order to produce something of value.
Right.
Because I mean, how many? This is what, the fifth or sixth deep dive that you and I have done onto this series.
Yep. This would be number 5.
All right, we have spent a goodly amount of time delving into this mythos, delving into this lore, and having a great time with it.
Oh,
That is-
absolutely.
that's what good art does. That's what great art does. It entertains and informs and sparks conversation. It gives us something to enjoy, to take maybe not comfort from, because clearly this is not comforting
Oh, I
material.
found it. Hold up.
This is.
It was on the video was actually called The Report.
Okay, that makes a hell of a title. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because like right here.
Yeah. Reporting.
Yeah. I think that's what the end of the video of the last the damage control. I believe that was the phone call right there.
Yeah, and just saying, hey, look,
What's up,
Control,
Jasmine?
Control Center, Professor Tench has returned. We don't know what to do with him right now. We've got him in temporary holding. What's the procedure here? What do we do now? Given the nature of this organization and this exploratory effort, I can accept the notion or the idea that, yeah, they probably did recover him initially and tried to examine him, to probe him, to do an analysis on his physical and mental well-being. I can even buy the idea that he escaped from that holding cell, or that he escaped in transport from one medical examination holding cell to another residential cell, but they were never going to let him out of that facility back into the light of day. Damage control.
Homeboy is not going back to wifey and the kids.
No. Damage control, I believe in the case of this video, can also be a double entendre. We have Async Corporation's PR guy or report guy doing the voiceover, talking to the employees and to his colleagues, trying to gloss over with a shiny coat on top of a great big giant pile of shite that, look, I know what happened was terrible. We were all terrified. This former colleague got loose. He went back into the complex, grabbed a gun and killed or nearly killed one of your colleagues, and he tried to escape, and unfortunately he had a bit of an accident and is no longer with us.
Yeah, he just happened to stumble and fall.
Right. He stumbled. He fell head first into the butt of security's rifle. I mean, into a rock. But damage control, and why I would posit that maybe perhaps it's a double entendre, the secondary meaning, Tench wanted to escape to try and control the damage being done to his reality by Async corporations fucking around with this portal way into the Q-dimensional space. It's a double entendre. He has his own mission. My God, we have destroyed the natural order. We need to alert the public. They need to know what's happening. Versus, we need to control the narrative and end this man. We need to silence him and put forth a decent narrative for our own employees so that they don't consider going out and spreading this information themselves. And
their form of misinformation.
Right. What better way to do that than to discredit this professor, this Dr. Tench, by saying, well, he was acting paranoid, he was delusional. That's exactly what you do in operations of a government nature.
Of this magnitude.
Right. I made the joke about, how many of these fuckers were in the CIA before.
Right.
Look at things like Project MK Ultra or Operation Paperclip or Monarch. You have these agent or NGO, these government or NGO actors and organizations that when somebody decides they're going to come out and blow the whistle, what's one of the first things that happens to them? Their reputation is tarnished. They're lambasted as lunatics and kooks and weirdos, conspiracy nuts. But then over the course of time, when you can no longer control the reality and the facts that come out, people eventually come around to thinking, maybe that guy wasn't such a kook and not so just crazy and weird. How many quarters have to go into the Alex Jones was right jar before we recognize some of this shit is real?
Man, like I'm putting chemicals in the water. Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that the globalists are coming for you. They're going to feed on your blood. They're gonna rip your throat open, and they're gonna douse themselves in your lifeblood. They're gonna make sure that they wear your face as a mask for Halloween, and they're gonna sacrifice your kitties to Moloch the demon. They're gonna have goat's blood all over the walls, and they're gonna write your name on contracts for the Async Corporation. They're evil globalists, and they're coming to take your lives. We'll be right back on InfoWars.
That's how that shit used to be too, man. Does he even still have a show anymore? I haven't seen that dude in a long time.
Yes, he does. The site is madmaxworld.vid.
Oh,
sorry,
man.
it's Madmax. Yeah, madmaxworld.video, I think. He's certainly entertaining.
He definitely is.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to scare you people, but unless you buy the silver nitrate and get it into your bloodstream, you're not going to be safe from whatever chemical attack these people are going to focus down on your heads. Now, I want to talk a little bit here about Async Corporation. I've got the documents.
Alex, that's the local penny saver.
I'm telling you, I got the documents.
I mean, at first he made some sense, and after a while I kind of watched him. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about, man? And it would be a lot of stuff like that talking about, like, the globalists gonna drink your blood. They're gonna steal your baby.
Just remember, if you come for me, I'll eat your ass.
Oh, God, that hurt my throat.
Oh, man. It's been an honor and a privilege, man. This is number 5 of the Backrooms panel, the deep dive, our discussion. And unfortunately, there's no other content that's been made with Kane Pixels. So we'll stop with those for now, but we have other things we can dive into.
Okay, good, yes. There's plenty of other mythos and lore kind of material for us to dip into. I just got through the second entry in an anthology book that I picked up from Warhammer 40k,
Nice.
and perhaps we will eventually dive down a little bit into that material. There's also things like Slenderman, things like the fox-faced children of the Tiokano forest in Japan. There's all
The
sorts of
SCP
fascinating
Foundation.
mythology. SCP, secure, contain, protect.
And there's tons of fan films.
Give me that.
and-
Sorry, hold on a second.
Oh, you're good.
Like my son got a hold of his sister's comic or graphic novel. She's a fan of the FGTV comics, which tells me that he busted into her room again. She's down on spring break in Iowa with her mother.
Let's see here.
But we've got a plethora of materials to choose from, and
Absolutely.
I would put forth to you, and this is just a suggestion, brother. Take it or leave it. Do with it what you will. Mayhap we should go through the democratic process and leave it to the folks in the chat.
I can do that.
Yeah, if there is do you want to put together a poll or something maybe on your
I can do it right
page?
now. Yep.
There you go. And we'll see if it's something that's brand new to both of us. That's perfectly fine. If it's something that either one of us has a little bit of understanding of or knowledge, also fine.
So what would you want the poll to be exactly? Like, what would you title it?
What modern mythos should Cortex and Byron examine next?
Okay.
And if not a poll, because I don't know exactly what our options would be or who.
I could even do that right now on the stream as well.
Yeah, just put it forward to people and be like, look, if you have a suggestion for what kind of lore or mythology or series, whatever it is, could be a television show, movies, could be independent art projects like this one was. I tend to really appreciate and enjoy smaller creator projects of this nature.
So I was thinking, because there's a lot of different material that we were talking about we could go over, and one that kind of caught my eye, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, was the Mandela Catalog.
I've never heard of the Mandela Catalog. I'm familiar with the Mandela Effect as a concept, the idea of false memorization or possible alterations to reality itself, spiraling off into the quantum many worlds theorem, which is fascinating material, and we've touched upon it a bit in this series already. So it would make a certain amount of sense for us to dip into that sort of thing. But definitely something we can put amongst our options.
So the Mandela Catalog, I believe it's like an alternate universe or possible alternate, I guess, space in particular. But all of a sudden there's like doppelgangers. And these doppelgangers are sometimes either a complete copy of somebody or they're a twisted, distorted, being of a copy that is not fully made properly. So a person could have an arm that's bigger than the other, or their head would be much bigger than it should be, or something about them is fucked up.
So we have
and they are very hostile.
A little Cronenberg in there.
But they're very hostile, and you have government reports of they would have the whole announcement with the on the TV, the announcement from the government, oh, this is the government. Please stay away from anybody who looks exactly like you, yada, yada, yada. In attempts to take on one, you gotta shoot them or whatever,
Right. The the Department of Homeland Security, for your better security and well-being, would like to announce that the following individuals have been seen in duplicate in the downtown area. If you see your name on the following list that will scroll up from the bottom of the screen, put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
So just to touch up on, I mean, we won't get fully into it, but I just want to briefly show you what I'm talking about.
We are currently receiving countless reports of an unidentified hostile organism that we'll refer to as alternates. Until
I already love this.
complete understanding of the threat, it's important to stay home, lock all doors and windows, and have access to a loaded firearm or any ranged weapon at all times. You will know if an alternate exists solely based on their physical characteristics. If you see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide. If you see a person that has a biologically impossible characteristic, run away and hide. If one manages to break into your home, refrain from any kind of communication or contact with the threat. These intelligent life forms utilize elements of psychological warfare to take advantage of their victims. While we heavily discourage any form of contact or communication with an alternate, we make exceptions for attempts at executing them yourself.
All right, so yeah, that's a brief understanding so far of what I was talking about.
That definitely seems like something that would be right up my alley. I already want to interject there. How much do you want to bet that last slide, the kill yourself, there's only room for one of us, was an insert from a doppelganger, from an alternate?
From an alternate? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like, okay, whoever produced this PSA film, they have an alternate, and that alternate is smart enough to slip that in. Because then it flipped to know your enemy or know the type. What's up, buddy? Okay, yeah, I can come with you, buddy. I am being asked to be pulled away at this time by the buddy boy. And this has been a good show. I'd say
sure,
probably
man.
a good place to wrap up.
Definitely a good way to end it. So before we do end it, do you want me to put up a poll on what to go on next, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously there's a strong pull for me for this Mandela catalog, but I think we should still have the democratic process. If folks want to see us go into the Mandela catalog, that'd be great. But I think if
we've got 5 in here right now, so I'll just put up a poll just for the time being, see what we get.
Yeah, and let me know later on. You can DM me over on Discord to let me know what the chosen material is, because this time I'd like to go in with a little bit more foreknowledge. Because for the Backrooms, I was going to watch the videos on my own before we dove into them, but I decided against it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in blind on this. This time, I think maybe I'd prefer to have a little bit of introduction to the material first. That's a fairy, son. It's The Lego fairy. Did you bust into your sister's room again? Yeah? Well, at least he owns it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for my part, I'm going to be heading off. Cortex, brother, it is always a pleasure and honor to spend this time with you, to have these conversations and these dives.
Likewise, man.
I enjoy it. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, wherever you choose to do these panels, I will be there with you, brother. All righty?
Likewise, man. And
All
if
right.
if you guys haven't, make sure you go check him out on Rumble. That's more of his jam. I will be here on YouTube, but vice versa. If there's any like content that you'd like me to be a part of, as far as any sort of deep dives of your own, feel free to let me know. Hop on.
I will let you know, brother. And
of course, with the time that we have together. So.
Right. And perhaps we can collaborate and combine our powers and control and dominate Rumble and YouTube together. No, shit, it's an alternate. Kill it! Anyway. Yes. Yeah, okay, buddy.
I'm going to drop your link in the chat here real quick.
I appreciate that, brother. And thank you,
man.
Sam. Thank you, Scuba. Like I said, I have survived 41 revolutions around the sun. Here's hoping I can manage a few more. Ladies and gentlemen, from the storyteller, I go by that, the Storyteller's Corner. I go by Byron Insidious as a username, but I call the show the Storyteller's Corner over on Rumble. Check that out when you have the opportunity. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to follow. You don't have to watch any of the material. But if you choose to spend your time listening to this particular storyteller tell his tales, he would greatly appreciate and enjoy the time spent with you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us ramble about. I ask that you take care of yourselves, and as always, keep reading.
Appreciate you, man. Take care. Hope you have a good one. We'll talk later.
Sure.
All right, y'all. We're going to wrap it up there for right now, but I am going to put the poll down so that way we can vote on what we want to do next. As you just saw, we were just doing the Mandela catalog right at the very end, although this panel was meant only for the Backrooms. I just want to give a brief intro of what the Mandela catalog is. So the choices that I've got so far is the SCP Foundation, the Mandela catalog. I'm trying to think of a couple more that I want to do. That way I can give you guys like a choice of like what to dive into. What you guys want to see, what we want to like cover. I think those are the two for now that come to mind. So, without further ado, here we go, y'all. Poll should be up here momentarily. Well, looks like we're getting votes on the Mandela catalog. So I'll give that a couple minutes and see how far it goes. I'll set it for 5 minutes, and then after that, that's what we'll settle on. Oh, it went to 50%, 67. He wants to see my hair, huh? There you go. get them votes in, and then we'll decide from there. Looks like the Mandela catalog is leading. Only 3 votes, and there's 2 other people in here in the bushes. Come on now. Don't be shy. Cast your vote. Oh, wow, it's a 50-50 right now. We need one more vote. Come on. Let's get one more vote in here. That will be the determining factor on which we do the SCP Foundation or the Mandela Catalog. We need one more vote, guys. We're at a 50-50 right now. One more vote, y'all. Come on. I'm gonna set this for another 5 minutes. There's one other person in here that can vote. One more vote, guys. One more. It's all good in this look. I know there's one more person in here. We need one more vote, guys. One more. We're at a 50-50 right now. I don't see 6 people, but If there is 6 people, I need one more vote. One more vote. All I need is one more vote. British Bulldog says he voted. I don't see Thank you, British, but it didn't change the ratio here, the vote ratio. Still 50-50. We need one more vote, guys. One more. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Since we have a 50-50 right here, right now, we're going to do this. If y'all can see this, we literally have a spinner here. Here we go. Looks like we're doing the SCP Foundation. Since we couldn't do a 50-50, or we had to do a 50-50, I left it up to more so a choice being made that way. What's that about? I can give you a brief introduction to that. Okay, so the SCP Foundation, they secure, contain, protect. They are basically I wouldn't say the government, but they're a government-like group that takes on like mythical like entities that, like what you've seen in the Backrooms, the big, tall, lengthy, black like figures that came after people. So anything that's really out of the ordinary, the SCP Foundation goes and retrieves that said entity and secures it from the public. In other words, like things that shouldn't exist but do for whatever reason, they go and contain them to keep the public safe from them. And there's multiple different types of entities, different like monsters, weird, things that shouldn't make sense and don't make sense, but whatever reason they exist in reality. The SCP Foundation goes to find it, contain it, and keep the public safe from it. And there's a ton of lore and material on these different entities that the government or group contains. Like, how do I put it? Carlos Martinez, the bad guy. Go Troll Channel. I don't even know what that's about. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. All right, back to what I was trying to get at. Mr. and Miss Powerstroke, what's up?
Secure, contain, protect. These three simple words comprise both the initials of the SCP Foundation, as well as the Foundation's steadfast motto. But what is the SCP Foundation? This video will continue under the assumption that this is the first time you have ever heard of SCP, and are about to enter a world of the strange, shadowy, and unusual. By the end of this video, you should have a decent grasp of the basic concepts that make up the Foundation. To begin with, the SCP Foundation and universe are primarily associated with a single website, the SCP Wiki. Rather than having lore spread across movies, books, or video games, the website is driven by community submissions. Practically anyone can write and add to the SCP universe, assuming their writing is up to snuff. And because of this, there is no official canon. Another way to look at this is that everything is canon, as any submission to the lore is equally valid, or invalid depending on your perspective. But there are a number of concepts that are generally accepted by the community, and that's mostly what this video will be based on. For a simple example, the SCP Foundation is most often presented as a shadowy organization that works outside of the public awareness in order to keep things secret and safe.
So essentially, like you just said, the SCP Foundation is an organization that keeps monsters or whatever away from the public. They keep away from the public eye to contain said entities or beings. And that's all I'm going to go on for right now. It's going to be a brief introduction. But the foundation themselves are a very weird, skeptical kind of idea. Like, nobody really knows if they're good or bad. They're just kind of like a government organization, only we're not sure if they're even government or who they're even funded by.
However, if an author wishes to change this perspective and present the foundation as a very open and public group, they.
But with that being said, I'm going to end it on that note. So, I appreciate you all stopping by to hang out with me and Byron on the Backrooms and going further into detail of what is the Backrooms and what is going on in the Backrooms. So, with that being said, if you like what you saw, please drop a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please turn on the notification bell if you like what you saw. We will be going live more often, hopefully more often. Me and Byron don't really have similar, like, schedules per se, but we'll try to do our best to provide some more content with the duo of me and Byron, and hopefully go in some pretty deep and interesting content and material. Definitely enjoy I can't even talk. Diving deeper into this kind of material. But definitely enjoy you guys being here and appreciate the support. And we look forward to more videos to come. But until then, guys, I'm out of here. Your boy Cortex is out. Much love, guys.